That knife round that will, of course, decide which side these teams get to begin on. CT side, T side, not really too much difference in this version of Vertigo. There was, if you remember, back in the day when Vertigo was released, we were seeing some magical 11-4 halves back in the day. But right now, it's on that balance point. T side is still a little bit more under-favored. CT getting that preference. It is going to be Endpoint that will be starting on, will be Endpoint starting on the CT side to kickstart this series off, and especially on a map like Vertigo, CT is going to be looking to get that 9-10 round barrier in place before they switch over into the second half. But we shall see what goes down here. Full Kevlar, of course, on the side of Singularity. Toby's picking up that set of utility. Single smoke and a single molly, more indicating a B-side take that smoke out toward the quad box. Molotov down in corner to make sure no one's hiding, perhaps. And I think that's going to be exactly the case as they will begin to charge up toward this B-bomb site. It's going to be crucial in first, though.
Well, it is going to be crucial trying to hold this line, although unfortunately Cellrate will find himself a refract. Surreal from quad, not even yet spotted, not even checked, as Cellrate will fall, and Robin making short work of two, making sure that Singularity do not even get a bomb plant. That pistol ends a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently for Endpoint than we initially could have foreseen, and this is this is going to be a little bit different, or at least a little bit tougher for Singularity. Losing the pistol, it does give them a bit of a poor start comparing to what Endpoint can bring on the table, especially as the CTs.
Yeah, this full buy, especially with these MP9s in there, going to be giving them a little bit of a plentiful opportunity to bag some early cash, get that AWP out on Crucial as quickly as possible. Vertigo quite reliant on a CT sniper. We've seen a lot of sides playing that from the A ramp position, more importantly inside of middle as well. Potentially bomb going to be down early. Cellrate will actually be able to return at least one of the kills, but it is thankfully these MP9s that are doing the majority of the killing here on the side of Endpoint. Get as much money in the bank as possible, and that's exactly the aim of Mighty Max, as he'll be generating some lovely cash toward the end of this round. But it's a very simple 2-0 so far for Endpoint. No real challenge whatsoever there. The buy round, though, going to be testing the waters here for the CT side. Now, unfortunately, there isn't going to be an AWP out. Not a chance this time, so Crucial just going to stick with the M4 itself. No default upgrade from 3, though. Sticking with those MP9s, so we'd love to see Endpoint getting up in the faces of Singularity here, because especially on a map like Vertigo, that's the only way you can put those to use in a gun round like this. Get up close, get personal. See if you can just get into the front lines of Singularity with these SMGs.
Yeah, very true. Surreal is going to be holding towards that B side alone. He's a little bit exposed, yet he goes for the challenge and, comes out on top. Queenix out of the question as Cellrate is looking to find a refract. Surreal is playing this one very smart, sticking back, making sure that he does not allow himself to be caught out in the wind. That would cause a lot of trouble, and if nothing else, they would have lost mid alongside it. Surreal reads this like a charm, like a book, and just gets himself a secondary. That is perfect, and now Mertz needs to fall back here. He cannot allow this one-on-one fight to ensue. If he loses the duel, luckily he does not. That would have been the end of the round already. Singularity, though, they're still a man down.
Still in a bit of trouble, yeah. 4v3 is definitely not favorable, especially with Crucial just bagging 2 players in his eye line there. He is not going to be giving any breathing room to Singularity whatsoever. The flank, though, just picked off by Jabby, as he's going to be able to rat out Robin. So there is at least a chance here, as Mertz is going to walk his way up toward that top of ramp position as well. They do have that bomb in hand. Crucial has to be very careful, does not want to get caught out here. Smoke down at least going to provide a little bit of cover for him to play with. But with 22 seconds on the clock here, Singularity really have to look to make a move at this point. They've got to aggress onto this bomb site. There is very little time. Thomas, as soon as Mertz rounds this corner, it should be a kill. No, it's not somehow. They wipe out 2 on the bomb site. Tobias and Mertz opening things up. The bomb will go down safely. And that is looking like it's going to be a very nice first round for Singularity. All 3 players tagged, though. So a 1v3 for Surreal does actually seem a lot easier than imagined. Doesn't spot Mertz through the gap, though. Able to close things down. And a first on the board for Singularity was looking a little bleak, but a good turnaround of that gun round.
Indeed it is. I mean, Surreal, he starts off so well. He picks off 2 players for free, basically, yet still Singularity in the end are able to pick up the victory. It shows to tell that, you know, even at a disadvantage, they should be a dangerous beast to be dealt with care, of course. And for Endpoint, full force, we've got a few FAMASs, the MP9, the M4 coming up. It's, you know, it's definitely going to be a bit of a challenge presented to Singularity, yet I am more eager to see what do the Danes decide to do in this case. Is it going to be another A execution behind this, or maybe just, you know, poking the hornet's nest a little bit towards B, seeing if Surreal might be buckling under the pressure. As we can tell, it does look like their ultimate goal would be a B execute, though, with 3 players setting up towards that ramp position. It feels like a proper B split. But a minute on the clock. They've got more than enough to decide in the end where they want to end up at.
Yeah, especially with a lack of utility on the side of Endpoint, they can just slow this down, waste as much as possible in terms of whittling down that CT grenade defense. They've got a couple of smokes left, but Mighty Max is going to be forced to retreat. Mert's going to be shifting his way up. Let's see if he can land anything in terms of information. But again, no real aggressive push out of Singularity yet. Now they'll look to set up the execution, though, give them that passageway into the A-bomb site that they're going to be looking for at least. But Crucial rounding this corner. Deagle in hand is again a little bit of a risky weapon to play with, but it might just pay off as he lands himself one, gets the second with the assistance of Robin. Meanwhile, Mighty Max able to do some damage. The flank does get caught out, but not for long, just down to cell rate. And a 1-on-3 with minimal health, not going to make a difference. Endpoint picking up a nice little round there at the end of things, bagging 3 AKs as well, and breaking the bank of the majority of Singularity.
Well, this is going to definitely cause them a little bit of a headache. They don't have enough to really go for a full investment, but they will do so regardless. Of course, they are forced to do it. With their loss bonus being a little bit reset, it does cause a little bit of a concern. But an AK and an MP5, a few Deagles, and that CZ might just be able to turn the tide. Utility is not exactly too strong of a point for them as well, as Singularity will be focusing towards B by the looks of it yet again, with 3 players making their way up that stairways. Ooh, 3-man boost. This is something we haven't seen in a little while, and it's very dangerous. If Surreal doesn't read it soon enough, he will be taken out of this equation. And Robin caught on middle. This means now a proper split and a proper take of B could begin, but Surreal reads it well enough to at least find the frag. Mighty Max the second, and the hold seems to be up to par.
Great little adjustment from Surreal as well. Going to be drafting in Thomas to just make sure that B site is fully prepared. Like you said, that was where Singularity were about to make their move, and you just want that second man just to add that little bit of defense. They've got that 1 AK, but it's isolated inside of mid, so unless Jabby can go in for a flank, which is crucial, yeah, he's already mightily aware of, it's going to make no difference. Cell rate does pop ahead at least, but Thomas, he's already wise to the movements of Singularity, unfortunately. Will be able to close down that force buy round, going to keep Singularity economically low going into round number 6. It will have to be an eco, unfortunately. Maybe a couple of pistols invested, but nothing too crazy in terms of that buy round. So it should be Endpoint 5-1 and a perfect CT start, really, making sure that Singularity have very little room to maneuver. And with getting 5 rounds on the board already, that does just sort of solidify that solid start. But it's going to be, of course, that gun round that decides things. We want to see Mertz picking up that AWP. We need to see some comprehensive executions out of Singularity. And hopefully that'll come with the round loss bonus. They'll get a plant out of this round, will be pretty perfect, but not really got the resources to do that. And Surreal, again, he's just utilizing that dip and dive maneuver from that B position so well. Finding yet another entry. I think that's like his, what, 4th or 5th of the game so far. Cell rate will trade one back, but with limited weapons, it's only minimal Deagles. If they can evade the shots, then Endpoint should ride out of this round, at least with 3 kept alive.
Well, Robin needs to stay careful. He's tucked away in the corner. I say it. He goes wide, finds 2, and, well, he knows better than I do. Mighty Max. Let's see what he does here. Well, I guess he gets a free kill, as expected, as Tobiz will be left alone. This is a very straight-up round from Singularity. Of course, an eco that you can't really that you can't really deny. Could have been going a little bit better if they had gotten a kill or two, maybe. Or excuse me, if they had gotten 2 or 3 kills, you know, trying to limit the economy of Endpoint, they would be definitely more happy about it. But in the end, it's still an eco. And now it's time to see how this one plays out. Who will be taking the cake for the op, and will it even be an AWP coming out for Singularity, as the money is a little bit tight around the edges. But Endpoint 5-1 so far, a perfect start for them, and exactly as I feared, right? Going up against Endpoint is going to be a tough cookie, and if you're not ready to take it, oh lord! Okay, Crucial, that is next level stuff coming out of him. Unfortunate enough, though, that it will have no support for them. That is clear B-side entry.
Beautiful round so far from Singularity. This is the gun round that we wanted to see out of them. A comprehensive take up toward that B-bomb site, leaving pretty much Robin and Max just going for the save, unfortunately. There is some hefty damage done to these Singularity players, but not unfortunately able to translate those into kills at this point. So it is just going to see those CTs saving up. They've got bank to be able to buy into the next round, of course. There's no issue about that. Maybe can get a couple of exits on the way out as well, just for the fact that Toby's Mertz and sell rate all particularly low. Could capitalize on a couple of those if positions work out. But saving 2 rifles, especially one of which being the AK with the money they've got. I would like to see Max getting, or even Thomas just getting an AWP dropped out to Crucial at this point, though. Start to put him on that AWP, especially now that Mertz has taken, obviously, that one from the previous round as well. So we do need to see that AWP battle coming into fruition here. I think he will receive an AWP in return. Yes, he will. Mighty Max dropping one of those out, and this is one of the battles that we would like to see with how good that Crucial can be here. And again, with the prowess that Mertz does hold, I'd love to see this AWP battle coming into fruition. That would be, especially on a map like Vertigo, an interesting battle to see. However, with Endpoint down onto one of their final buys, it's a must-win round for them. And again, it's the B site that Singularity look to pressure early. I'm liking their turn of pace, but Surreal, a 1-for-1 trade to open things up.
Yeah, this is going to cause a few headaches for Endpoint. They're going to be boosting, though, towards that edge and sandwich, and that might give them a bit of an upper hand if they are not... Oh, they seem to be shooting a few strays into the smoke, not really hitting their mark, just a tag along, and the sound cue didn't get picked up by Singularity, which is actually a great chance for Endpoint to maybe still make something out of this. The prevention of that plant, though, not going to be happening. A close call, and Thomas will pay the price for trying to be a little bit more too sneaky. Mertz, the secondary, and... well, let's see the retake. Robin and Mighty Max left.
Especially in a 3-on-2. This is a little bit of a difficult procedure to go for here. Endpoint, are they going to commit to this? That's the question. Well, a smoke down, but I think that smoke just missed its entire location. Yes, it did. Mertz able to snap onto Robin. His vision not being affected whatsoever, and Jabby getting the job done there. 5-3 Singularity, a good little hold on the after plant positions there. Endpoint now unfortunately broken. They'll be down onto the eco for this one. Sadly going to have to be taking the loss of the economy here and allowing Singularity to put the pressure on that early scoreline to be able to bag onto what should be quite a nice little round, bring that scoreline closer. If they can get to a tie, especially on this T side, 5-6 rounds would be a solid number to end off with no matter what goes on in that rest of the first half. But we can see that Singularity definitely going to be pushing for more. Mertz was spotted early, so no real challenge going to be coming from Endpoint. It was surprising on an eco round like this that they haven't just stacked somewhere trying to regress ramp or something like that, or pushing fast B, but maybe they're just going to play for the after plants, try and deny the bomb plant, see what rifles they can get out of this. But Singularity should be fairly easy round for them, and especially on this T side, getting one of these, getting a freebie is always a nice little one to play with, and especially keeping players alive here. Stack that money, make sure you're prepared for the next couple of gun rounds. It'll be calm for Singularity here. Love a little boost, though. Just give them that little bit of info. See if they can find an early kill or something to just add some money into the bank balance. But Singularity, they know it's an eco, so they're just not going to offer anything in terms of that. They'll commit to a site when the time's right, around 35, 40 seconds. And they'll be able to most likely take this round fairly clean. The Endpoint have oriented toward the A site. It's a full stack that Singularity have avoided, so it should be a fairly simple fourth round for them.
Indeed, it should. walking onto B side unopposed. Exactly what you love to see as a team when you make the right call and you don't even need to fire a shot to get onto the site itself. Endpoint on the other side, though. I'm eager to see if they go for exit frags, if they just want to go for that strategy of picking up a rifle or two, trying to salvage what they can, economically speaking. Of course, the start for them was very good. It definitely gave them a heads up and definitely gave them a bit of a head start. Seems like, though, that they are perhaps a little bit underwhelming in their gun rounds. You know, a few moments where you could definitely point out the crude mistakes you could see in the plays, and it's something that will come back to bite them in the buttocks, as we like to say, if they are not going to be vigilant enough to fix that. But the full buy, this is where it matters. Let's see if Endpoint can keep up the pace. Can they keep the lead?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to have to be another drop of that AWP for Crucial here just to get him on that sniper, but it leaves Robin with just enough to get the full set of utility, or not even full, just as much as he could possibly afford. That leaves them without a defuse kit yet again, but I think prioritizing that AWP at this point is more of a stable route to choose. Mertz, though, using a gap in the smoke beautifully. Catches off Mighty Max as he goes to peek that top of the A-ramp position. Quite a common stance for a CT member to take, but read incredibly well. Surreal nearly caught out. No, is caught out on timing. The peek from Robin as well, not going to make a difference. Singularity making sure that every angle is checked as they enter the bomb site, as they will be able to make it into a 5-on-2 once again. It is going to force that save out of the CT side, and Singularity, they'll be not just tying the scoreline, but most likely taking the lead as well. They are able to break up the economy of Endpoint yet again. This is going to force them into a couple of further hardship rounds once more, and Singularity, there is a chance to take the lead off of the back of this.
Well, I mean, they certainly should be able to take that lead, unless Crucial and Thomas can keep those two weapons alive and make some noisy plays. The next, yeah, that's not going to happen, of course, already. Thomas, the last man standing, not even able to keep that rifle alive. Yabi, excuse me, gonna be able to take him out, able to secure that 5th and tie for Singularity. It's where I could say safely that Endpoint are in a bit of a pickle. Nade's gonna be brought up, sure enough. A few Kevlars, a few pistols. It's a classic eco round for them. Just a bit of a buy-up to try and support the cause. But this does feel like Singularity have quickly been able to read the book that is in front of them, and they seem to be very well in understanding its contents. So far, no complications, really.
Yeah, it's really good so far, especially when Endpoint started so brightly, able to get that real sort of run of rounds starting at the beginning of the map there, and Singularity have done really well to bounce back off that. So putting round number 5 on the board, and with this being a little bit of a half investment for Endpoint, they will have that max round loss bonus, so maybe those HGs can provide some sort of damage, but theoretically, with the way that Singularity are taking the approach here on this round, making sure that mid is fully covered off. Yeah, Toba's catching onto Robin nicely there. Will be, ooh, actually a nice spam. Mighty Max able to use positions off of the back of the blooming smoke to be able to find at least a headshot trade. Surreal here. Is he going to be able to catch out anybody lingering their way up to the top of the B site? Jabby, good little corner that he can take. Surreal does get shut down on the back of the B bomb site, though. That should open things up nicely for a very simple plant. There's Jabby coming in as well. Might even be able to stick a knife in the back here. Going to get one, get the second as well. Mighty Max is able to trade back and at least do some considerable damage, but in the grand scheme of things, not going to change a thing. 6-5 and Singularity. A great little run so far to take the lead, especially being on the T side. 6 rounds is great so far.
It really is. Given the start, given how well Endpoint were able to begin, and, you know, the gun round, the first gun round really started off perfectly for Endpoint. That double by Surreal, I will not forget it ever, because it might as well have been their round already if they played their cards correctly, sort of to speak. Now, of course, Singularity is a tough opponent to break, but still, Endpoint had all the opportunities they could have had, and in the end, they seem to be a little bit lackluster. Surreal down to 46. This is the gun round that might save them, although Robin will finally deliver. On middle, he wins that duel, takes over a large portion of the map. Mighty Max, though, aggressing towards ramp. Feels like slacks from alternate attacks. The aggression from him when they play Vertigo, it's definitely a problem. And right now, it's a 4-on-4 that Endpoint don't really have the means to overtake, to go for this retake. They have no kit, they have very little utility. Unless the flank succeeds, which Surreal's already, unfortunately, not going to be able to do. Yeah, this is going to be 7 and Endpoint save with 4.
At least able to save the weapons. Hopefully we'll carry all those through without you losing anybody else, but again, this is great work from Singularity just to be able to open up so many good passageways through these bomb sites. We thought it was just B that was maybe a weak point for Endpoint, but they've been able to exploit this a good couple of times now. Robin trying to work it out. Actually does get a bit of a lineup on the spam, but unfortunately not going to get anything in terms of a kill off of the back of it. 7-5, and Singularity really starting to extend their lead now here in map number 1. Of course, this is their map pick. Of course, but with the statistics being fairly even, especially in terms of just win percentage, we were expecting maybe a little more of a standard game with the CTs coming out on top. That can still be the case at 8-7, but Singularity right now, they are really looking good. Surreal, though, able to outsmart, get the pace in terms of that push. It will be just a clear 2-for-2 trade, though, so no real profit to be taken out of that round from either side, really. Crucial back on that AWP as things are quieting down now. The calm before the storm, potentially. We'll see him just pull back toward the bomb site, but a quick exchange, but no one really comes out on top with that. Just a barrage of frags, and it leaves both sides weakened.
It does, especially with Tobis at 50. It adds a little bit more spice to the end, and oh, that was a close call. Crucial. Unfortunately, just a tag, yet a good one at the very least. Still, this is not going to be simple for either side, no matter how good it might look from one perspective. Time is still of the essence, as Thomas is well aware of that mid flank, and I like the fact that Endpoint is leaving B a little bit open. They are aware that they could attempt a retake if needed, but more important to keep an eye out on middle and A if you're focusing on it. And in this second, Yabi will choose the right moment to take the fight. Thomas will be caught though, excuse me, as Thomas is holding the line. It's almost perfect in that sense. Thomas pretty much saving the round in the full sense of the word.
Yeah, especially with Mertz down to 19. You would have expected him to stick with the AWP rather than picking up the AK, but not the case this time. Going to be trying to at least get onto the site to allow that bomb plant. I think that's not going to be the case, though. Crucial, going to get things wrapped up very, very nicely. 7-6, and Endpoint at least going to be scraping around back to make that scoreline closer, which is something that they kind of need to do here. If they can finish this off with an 8-7, they'll be in good stead to move over into that T side and get back into winning ways. No matter what Singularity do now, those 7 rounds on a T side of Vertigo in this sort of climate is a great number to end on, even if they get no further rounds. And with the economy of Endpoint on the ropes, though, scary part is if Endpoint lose this one, it might just be a 9-6, and a great start so far. With Mighty Max already losing his life, Mert's able to pick himself up. But nevertheless, oh, that could have been a nice nade, providing that they were still in sandbag or cement, but not going to do any significant damage this time. It does give Singularity the nice little start, though, here that they need. A 5-on-4, especially being a T-side, this could benefit them greatly. Loving the way that Singularity are splitting around this map as well. They've got confidence in players like Jabby just to hold his own inside of mid and not have to rely on being micromanaged, as we may have saw yesterday with Chopper and his Spirit Boys, who constantly do go for those execution style plays and always have an agenda to play with. Whereas Singularity, they just allow them to go for that little bit of a lurk brawl and just know that Jabby can hold himself inside of mid while the rest of the side do set up this execution, which should be coming fairly soon. 40 seconds on the clock. Surreal again looking to make use of this dip and dive position on the front of the B bomb site, but he gets caught and that site is wide open, so has to be safe in these last 15 seconds or so.
Well, the real, he's all alone. He's got support in terms of Robin coming in through CT, but he's a little bit isolated still as Queenix is able to shut down that attempt of a defense as Robin widens the angle. Unfortunately, it's not really going to change the outcome. This round goes to Singularity, and that much is clear. 8-6, as the Danes seem to be picking up the speed, and so far, no signs of stopping, really. It certainly is a issue that Endpoint have to address sooner rather than later. It's a bit unfortunate, though, that we have come to the end of the half, basically. The 15th round is here, and it's on top of them. They'll have one more chance to make this into a potential 8-7 half, which in essence would not be too shabby at all. And crucial. I mean, he's gonna save that up. That much is certain, I think. Oh, even gets the nade kill. That's just beautiful. I love it. I mean, that's you know, that's the length they need to go to in order to win this map. If you ask me, that's what they, you know, in that sense, just, you know, the philosophical length, I mean, they need to go to. So yeah, 8-6 Endpoint. This is the last huzzah for them.
Yeah, the money's not great either, unfortunately. MP9 UMPs plaguing this CT side final buy round, so they are in a bit of a pickle when it comes down to weaponry, especially with Singularity still bolstering the Kriegs, the AWPs, moving into what is the final round of the first half. And if Endpoint can scrape away a little victory off of the back of this one, make it 8-7, then that is at least a consolidation prize. But Singularity, they have done brilliantly to bag 8 rounds in the first T-side half, especially on a map like Vertigo. Liking this, though, right now from Endpoint. Going to be pressuring down toward this smoke at the bottom of mid. If Max is able to work his way through this, might just profit greatly, although look at the awareness right now from this Singularity squad. As soon as they hear them pushing, they'll back away, take the bomb to safety. They'll be able to cross. Did lose one man in the process, but Mertz also has a bit of a lurk going on as well. But Surreal does seem maybe at least a little wise to it. Crucial going to be hunting as well. Might get lucky here, but yes, he will. Mertz, not this time, unfortunately. Jabby, good trade. Able to return at least one frag back to a 3-on-3. And with 40 seconds left right now, Singularity, they're going to be trying to worm their way in, but caught by Thomas. Only good for one, though, but it does leave Queenix damaged at least.
Is going to leave him a little bit vulnerable, sure, yet. But Yabi in this position, he can hold it long enough to perhaps buy a few more seconds of valuable time. Unfortunate enough, though, that the Molotov draws him out of position. And Queenix, oh, this is an interesting choice, yet seems to be Surreal's chance to close it out. And indeed he does. 7-8. The first half is gone as Endpoint are somewhat able to stabilize. Not perfect, but it will have to do. And looking at the scoreboard, it's fairly equal. It's fairly good. But the 6 rounds in succession for Singularity is the one thing that does concern me a bit for Endpoint. You know, that they allowed that actually to happen.
Yeah, especially in terms of just the overall rounds on the CT side. You would have liked to see Endpoint picking up some more here. Scoreboard's actually fairly even, though, in terms of frag distribution. 12-11, 12-10 to top things on both sides. Again, no one really having a bad game in terms of their performance. So a fairly even first half here when it comes down to things. And now with Endpoint being on that T side, we will get to see what they can deliver when it comes down to the ultimate start here. They do need pistol rounds to just propel them into an early lead, or else they will be battling an 11-7 before the first gun round comes. Unless, of course, they get a bomb plant, then they will be able to buy a round earlier. However, it is most likely if they lose pistol, a bit of an upward struggle to come. And Singularity, they're going to be playing quite an aggro A-sided setup. 2 players close in contention, 2 on the A-bomb site themselves, and Toba's inside of mid. They are leaving B entirely open. Honestly, I like this strategy as well, because as soon as you get that mid info, you realize that most likely it is a B site split. Then you can draft in your men. However, they've lost the B site. Doesn't matter, though, because Toba's and Queenix find 2 already. Even if the bomb goes down, they've got the defuse kit in play and a 5-on-3 that really does favor them right now.
That was a good clearance of that mid portion. Certainly buying enough time to rotate the next Well, rest of the squad over to the B site. Crucial from Quad, though, missing a few vital shots. And Queenix makes short work of him, of course. Yabi will be able to shut down Surreal, as in the end, it's down to Mighty Max. And yeah, that's not really going to work. Singularity will win the pistol. On top of things, Endpoint, you know, they get a great start to the round itself. Besides losing the 2 players, of course, they got B control, they got the plant, but their after plant is what really should be a bit more concerning, and they had ample opportunity to shut down the opposition, yet they failed to deliver on the aim, and, well, Singularity, this should propel them straight up to 10 rounds.
Yeah, most definitely, with Endpoint going to be taking a bit of an eco. Upgraded pistols, but not a lot else. They'll be able to get a buy in the next, of course. With Singularity looking to press for double digits. A perfect start thus far. Mert's taking quite a hefty chunk of damage to start the round off, though. Already finding himself just under half. Endpoint will be setting themselves up for at least more of a slower round with these Deagles, especially if they can catch a couple of early kills. That will be the way in. Cell rate, beautiful spam though. Okay, just wipes Surreal clean off of the earth. Lovely little penetrating of some surface that he penetrated through. Not too sure what, though. Still gives them a lovely advantage. Singularity just slowing things down. No need to pressure here. Toba's going to be spotting out the info, waiting for any sort of pushes. Especially with that MP9. Would love to rack up a bit of cash, see if they can get an AWP out early, but not necessary just yet. 55 on the clock, and Endpoint taking it really slowly in these eco rounds, but again, they do want to come out with maybe a bomb plant, benefit from a little bit more extra bank to play with, hence why they're going to go toward the B bomb site, maybe the easier to enter in terms of close range pistol battles. But with 40 seconds on the clock and Queenix jump spotting, he's going to get that smoke ready, spot things very quickly. Smoke will go down, they'll draft in Toby. Should be a very simple round, and well, that is entirely the case. 3 kills with an MP9 as well is great. And that is a very simple one to close. This might actually see Singularity dropping an AWP here as well. Nope, Toba's going to buy up nevertheless. But Endpoint, first gun round. We'll see what they can do. They don't have the sniper, but they do have the full rifles.
I'll say maybe the op is not even as required or as crucial as it could have been, given that, of course, Singularity is not going to represent an option of its own or an op of its own. Endpoint can deal with this in conventional means. A ramp control, though, will be contested for 3 players from both sides looking for that fight. The deep smoke, though, that's thrown from CT default is already in effect, and it is going to complicate matters a little bit here for, I would actually dare say, for Singularity. And the reason why I say that is because the longer they linger on ramp without a frag, and as I say that, they get the frag, the worse it's going to get. But, you know, with this now in play, they can just fall back, play it safely, and above all else, don't make the mistakes that their predecessors did, or in this case, Endpoint, by re-peaking the angle itself. Cell rate. Okay. Sure enough, you know, that was a worthwhile trade.
Yeah, so far, so good. Down to a 3-on-4, at least, with Yabi being 2 points. The health he essentially is already dead in terms of the damage that he can take. Although with 45 seconds on the clock, Singularity, here comes the commit from Endpoint. The lineup might just work out, though. Do they spot the second man? Yes, they do. The bullet damage, at least, allowing that CT to take the trade back again. It's all onto Queenix, though. The bomb is going to go down. Robin, actually, no, making a trade, a fake. Instead, will walk right into it. And Queenix sold down at the river. Endpoint will get their first gun round on the board at an incredibly high cost, but it's a victory nevertheless.
Whew, that was a close call. When they were pushing up a ramp through that, through the yellow position, or specifically through that fork position, the crane. Yeah, the crane. That's the word I was looking for. Basically, for a second there, it looked like somebody got stuck, and that's one of the reasons why he died. I presume also the bullets obviously impacting as well. But you know, it looked a little bit grim. There were definitely a few seconds in between where Endpoint looked like they might just be losing straight up. They are saved by the bell, though, in the end. And with the full buy for Singularity actually having only a single M4 and an AWP, this is going to be no easy pickings for them. Yet, Mert's on the up. He's the man of the hour in this case, and I'm eager to see his quality and skill given the opportunity. And, well, I say it, I jinx him. He's goodbye, good night. Tobiz. Would you look at this madman, though?
I'm not even too sure how he got the second kill onto Robin there. The trade come very quickly, but it's damage that might just see Endpoint starting to struggle a little bit here. Surreal is going to walk up toward that B bomb site presence, but the timing of the smoke, just catches Queenix off the rotation. Not quick enough or not even available at that point. They were not aware of any presence, and as that bomb is going to go down, these final 3 players of Endpoint, they'll do exactly what they're supposed to do. Pull out of this bomb site, head toward the after plant at the back of the stairs. And either way, it's going to force Singularity into a save to round this one off either way. So Endpoint, they are going to pull it right back into a 10-9. Most likely going to be picking up a 10-10 as well, just for the fact that with the money gone here on the CT side, they are going to struggle to front themselves a purchase. And Endpoint waking up on their T side, as Singularity did in that midst of the first half as well. It's an even game so far. Scoreline incredibly representative of that as well. And Singularity, they will most likely allow Endpoint that tie. With the full eco round that has to come, the AWP should remain in the hands of Cellrate, as he does have that Kevlar, although does drop it back out to Mertz. Fair enough, interesting choice. Typically, you do keep that on the man with Kevlar, but either way, into the hands of their primary AWP. But yeah, they'll take a tactical pause to discuss that. Expected it might go back into the hands of Cellrate. Nevertheless, though, Endpoint, they should be tying things up here, and both teams getting on double digits.
Indeed. Although I wouldn't be too quick to say double digits just yet. They are, though, close to it. That is for certain. Mertz, he's got the op back in his hands. He kind of failed to deliver the round previous. He definitely screwed up a little bit, you know, got himself caught in an off angle and was basically taken out without a fight. Although Singularity, I'm not too sold on this current round for them. I dislike the fact they actually put everything back into the round itself, and they are hoping continuously to achieve, you know, victory with the SMGs when clearly they're losing those duels because of it. But let's see.
Yeah, Singularity with that AWP in hand and the full investment off of the back of this. Would be a great round to win if you're a CT side off of the pretty much a half investment. MP9's just being your go-to weapons here at this point. Again, that AK though from Jabby, the way he's playing, it could set himself up for a nice little couple of kills here. Endpoint moving up down that ramp. Oh, the timing might just work out. It does perfectly. Does get traded back incredibly quickly though, so that AK out of action already. Now reliant on the SMGs and the AWP of Mertz to show up here and give them something to scream right home about. 50 seconds just gone, so not too much time to play with, but definitely enough to orientate an A-sided execution here. Crucial going to be working his way to Sandbag, see if he can spot any angle from Castle, but Singularity, it's almost like they've been sold a bit of a fake here at this point. Rotating or just playing in the back lines of CT, and have to be very, very careful. That AWP of Mertz not particularly giving them too much. That bomb's going to go down as well, so good little round for Endpoint so far as they'll pull into their afterplant positions. This AWP going to be difficult to coordinate in with a retake. The MP9's maybe even too scared to push at this point, but Endpoint, they are locking down the round. Yeah, that should be the kill to do it. A 4-on-3 now with the weapons they've got. Grab that AK and run for the hills. Save what you can if possible and just try and get out of this round. Yeah, they're going to go for the save. It's 10 for Endpoint.
Well, as you called it before already, when the pause came in for Singularity, they will take their double digits. They will be able to pull it together. And this is actually really well done by Endpoint, because the comeback coming through the T side, it will weaken Singularity economically speaking. We all know this. I don't think there's any point in beating a dead bush. But basically, Singularity, you know, the only thing that's really saving them in this current scenario is the fact that they're able to keep that weapon or those weapons alive. Obviously, the AWP, the few MP9s to kind of work the angles out. Still, it shouldn't be changing the outcome too much. Yabby, though, fair enough. Don't get a return frag. They even get an AK for it. might be prudent to switch it out with Queenix or Tobist, since they do have Kevlars. And Endpoint seem to be caught in this weird scenario a little bit. They don't have an answer, really. They've completely let go of A-Ramp, which, in my honest opinion, is a huge mistake, because this allows control to go to Singularity.
Force him out, yeah, not even going to have a chance there, unfortunately. Crucial just doing a great little job to open up inside of mid as well. That should see maybe the pressure put onto the B bomb site now. Surreal, they're going to just walk in through this window, try and overwhelm the bomb site. That's exactly what they're able to do. And again, Singularity, they're going to be forced into another save. Unfortunately, that AWP, way more valuable than the retake itself. A 4-on-2, not possible, of course. And sadly, Endpoint, Singularity going to have to give up yet another round. This gives the T side a nice little lead, 11 on the board for them. A single round barrier before the rebuy, or the full rebuy of Singularity. But a very close game so far, considering that obviously this is quite a solid map for both of these two sides. It maybe could have been expected to have a close scoreline like this, but especially considering that both of these T sides are performing way more than average than what we're used to seeing on Vertigo in this current climate, just shows that tactically both of these sides are pretty good on Vertigo, pulling out some pretty good T-side rounds.
Well, whew. This is getting a little bit hot. Again, I like to say that because it's certainly Singularity starting to feel a lot of pressure from this. And yeah, this was one of the smokes I was discussing earlier, the deep ramp smoke that actually works wonders for the CTs. They can take ramp control immediately, basically, and they can also assert their dominance in terms of, you know, how much map control they can contain. Now, there's also one principal rule of Vertigo I think everybody seems to kind of forget about a little bit, is the fact that mid control is everything. Mid control and A-ramp control. For the CTs, A-ramp might not even be as important as mid is. Mid, you really, really want to keep hands on it. As we can see right now, Endpoint, they've been given free roam towards such, and they now have a little bit of more maneuvering room. Even though they lost A-ramp, they can decide to re-rotate if they wish to, and Singularity, they need to, I do believe they need to focus on that. They should be looking towards that mid as well.
Yeah, Singularity, they've got to just put that little bit of thought into this. Endpoint, again, playing yet another slow round, though. It's going to make Singularity play a little bit more anti. You can see they're looking for the pushes themselves, trying to get the information required right now, because they know time's ticking. They know an execution is on its way at some point. With only 30 seconds left, it has to happen as soon as possible. Mertz, the timing, it might just work out, actually. Only gets one, though. Reposition, not going to work out for him. Robin with a double, but look at the damage onto two of these Singularity players. Queenix and Cell Rate both incredibly low. And look at the damage on Endpoint as well. Bullets flying. The health so minimalistic. And Queenix, I don't even think he's going to attempt this, despite them being on a combined health of 10 across 3 players. Queenix having double. It's a single bullet that will finish the round, and I don't think Singularity want to take that risk. I would in the current climate, but Endpoint, I think they might just scrape this round by the skin of their teeth here.
Just might, and they just will. Queenix, I'm sure if he had known the HP of the players, there might have been an attempt made. But if we're brutally honest, this is, you know, a futile attempt at the very least. Himself being that low, and with the SGS in hands, the HP doesn't even come into consideration. 12-10 as Endpoint seemingly regain their structure, regain their composure, and they will be brought back from the dead effectively at 2-round lead now. The money starting to significantly drop for Singularity. The save of the op, of course, is truly a saving grace for the Danes, as it gives them a fighting chance yet again. But it feels like a losing battle almost at some times, as they will challenge A-Ramp once more. But I feel like Endpoint have read the book quite well, and they've returned the favor chapter by chapter, and they seem to be back in their default setup that is seemingly working out.
Smoke just barely keeping Crucial alive there down the ramp. Like you say, Singularity. They are being read into by Endpoint here now, and that's exactly what they were waiting for. Oh, the angle, yes, it was spotted. Was waiting to see if Crucial would have picked that one off, and that's exactly what he does. Tobe is able to at least clap back and return one onto Surreal, but I doubt that'll make too much of a difference right now with Cellrate picking up the AWP. A 4-on-3, beautiful flick though, make it 2, okay. Bringing out the big gun here for Cellrate. Crucial finally going to pin him down. It's down to a 2-on-2. Crucial spotting info, and Crucial still clapping those shots with the AWP. Tobe's last alive in a 1-on-2 even. With 43 seconds as that bomb goes down, Endpoint into their afterplants. I think they know, yeah, they've got deep CT control. Tobe's, he needs a miracle to pull this one off.
Be extremely difficult. He is lacking the proper equipment as well. The one smoke might save his hide, yet decision has not been made, and unfortunate enough that his angle will not be the right one. Robin with the final kill, and final hurdle being surpassed here by Endpoint. This shot by Crucial, the second one right here, right now. This is where I think the round was cemented to go in the way for Endpoint. Simply put, Yabi, if he had stayed alive, and even with the loss of cell rate, things could have gone highly different. And yeah, it's definitely cause for concern. That much is clear. And Crucial, he's quite on point. I think we should be noting that, you know, he is a vital part of Endpoint, equally so as Robin and Surreal.
Okay. This climate Singularity, unfortunately, gone for that little bit of a half by. Mertz, though, able to land onto Robin, so does find the early kill, which, especially with a limited arsenal, is a great entry. But again, it's that AWP that has to pick up not just 1 or 2 kills, but has to do the majority of the work. The MP9 is, again, it's an average weapon. The Deagles can be monstrous, we know, but it's the luck of the draw that you get with one of those. So it needs a bit of a step up from Mertz here, and Crucial going to be trying to pick some angles out toward this A site. I think Jabby might have actually just spotted him on radar there. Surreal, never mind, he does exactly the same. Able to clean him out through the smoke, make it back into a 4-on-4. They're aware of a potential flank as well. No, they're not actually. Oh, Thomas is now, though, but gets taken down in the process. Queenix able to find one of his own as well. There's Mertz as he chimes in for one extra. And oh, they dive round him, but still doesn't make a difference as Cellrate with the MP9 to finish the job. The half-buy, it pays off for Singularity.
That one moment was of the utmost importance. Cellrate, he needed to get the kill, or if anything else, he needed to survive. And luckily, he did the former rather than, you know, just the latter, as it could have turned out to be a 1-on-2 challenge that almost certainly might have succeeded for Singularity. But let's see this gun round. Let's see how Endpoint are able to handle themselves in their current state. It is going to be a full buy from both sides now, with the op in the hands of Crucial and Mertz. The challenge to be had is to be presented soon enough towards A ramp by the looks of it. Although Mertz, I'm not sure. Yeah, okay, never mind. He was mid. Apologies. Still. Slow and steady. Yeah, that's gonna hurt though. Robin alone in mid.
Yeah, another entry for Mertz that he's able to pick up with this AWP. That is a further damage potential that they have in this one. Queenix on the back of the site. Not too sure why he's left himself so open though. Surreal able to do the job even further. Bomb gonna go down. Thomas, a beautiful swing there. That closes the round already here. It's gonna break the economy of Singularity as well. Their save is paramount for this next round, but it's 14 for Endpoint. And they are slowly starting to come into concept of swiping away Singularity's map pick here. They are getting very close to victory. And this UK-based squad just making all the cogs turn in the right direction here. Cellrate and Jabby, the save of a single AWP and a Krieg. It's not amazing, but it adds at least firepower into the next round. But so far, so good for Endpoint. It's scary that Endpoint's T side is functioning more than Singularity's was, and they were able to get an incredible showing in that half. Just shows that Endpoint are actually doing something better than what Singularity were, despite how good we thought their performance was.
Yeah, very true. It certainly resonates deep enough with Singularity, even on top of their quality, that they're having issues holding the line with another rebuy. It's one of their last chances, really. CT side especially, they will not get any extra money bonuses. And it's gonna cause a lot of trouble here for Singularity, even if they just lose a player and then having to work with a 4-man squad against the full, executions. Again, we can see this battle towards A ramp is quite important, but I say it, and in the end, Mighty Max finds 2 kills. It's as if Singularity do not even attempt to play it right, or at least not right, more so carefully. And that's going to be most likely the 15-point to Endpoint. As funny as that sounds, it's quite true.
Yeah, seeming like it here with... Unfortunately, economy has already been nailed in the coffin as well. It's not even anything they can fall back on either. I mean, the one saving grace of this round is that they actually have some decent damage done onto players like Thomas and Max and Crucial, so there is potentially some trades, but Tobi's, oh, they're just slipping under the wayside. They have no idea. Max able to take him out already. Mertz and Queenix, the final 2. Whether they save or not is going to have no real detrimental effect to Endpoint. The economy of Tobi's, Jabby, really down in the dirt. The rebuy is going to be so minimalistic for the final potential round of map number 1. And Endpoint, what a solid T-side performance to say that this ended with, what, a 9-6. So far able to bag 9 rounds of their own here on the T-side and getting ready to hammer into a 10th if they win this next one to close out the first map. It's a solid performance, especially considering that this was the map that Singularity put their full faith in.
Was it 9-6 or was it 7-8?
Oh, it might have been 7-8 actually.
Yeah, I think it was 7-8. Yeah. Endpoint were able to sneak away the last 7.
Yes.
Just barely at the end of that last round and of the half. But we are now on the last round of regulation here. Well, almost of regulation. We're maybe in the last round of this first map. Maybe it is still a few more to go in a row, if anything else. But Singularity, yeah, it's not looking sweet. It's not looking good. They're continuously trying this A ramp control. It's not really succeeding, even though against their better efforts. And once more, we'll see the same attempt. It is going to be 2 players close range. Yabi just spotted. Celebrate did get a frag, but Mighty Max, he was ready on the opposite side as the push is denied. And I feel like every single time Singularity lose a player, and even with a refrag in mind, it is a bigger loss on their side. And sometimes that's not true because CTs can take an advantage even of a simple trade. But in their current state, I think they should be looking more for the kill and just the straight advantage, no trades whatsoever.
Yeah, it's almost like as soon as you give Endpoint that little bit of an extension of the olive branch, they'll snap your hand off. And Singularity right now cannot afford that sort of measure to take. A minute on the clock, smoke to go down and block off Mertz's vision. He will be able to play up close and personal in the bomb site, though, something that is anticipated by Surreal. Okay, the head of Merch just comes clean off in that execution. The bomb will be able to safely go down in that close corner of the bomb site as well. 40 seconds, tick timer beginning, and a 4-on-3 retake for the side of Singularity. Thomas in that great afterplant position. Mighty Max just dancing around the bomb site. Gonna live up to his name potential. Not this time, but Robin able to trade back. And I think that's the final nail. Yes, it is. Endpoint coming out of map number 1, swiping their opponent's map pick. Able to take it 16-11 in what was an incredibly dominant T-side half, actually. Very impressed.
Indeed it was. It was 3 rounds only to Singularity. They were barely able to scrape by anything at all, even after a successful pistol that